Hello students, this is Neha Mathur and today in this video we are going to discuss the next topic from network theory. So today we will discuss mesh analysis. Since there are two basic methods which is used to solve any basic electrical networks, and they are node analysis and the second one is mesh analysis. Node analysis is already discussed in my last video, so I will suggest you to follow that video, and today we will discuss mesh analysis. But before starting the topic, consider to subscribe my channel and click on bell icon to get updated for the upcoming videos related to network theory or related to or other electronics subjects. So our today's topic is mesh analysis. See, as I told you that at the beginning of the network theory we have basic electrical networks, we have basic circuits in which you will have only batteries or resistors. So in order to solve such kind of basic circuits, you should follow two basic methods, in which mesh analysis is one of them. Fine. So just like nodal analysis, here again we have several steps, and just by following these all steps in a proper sequence, in a proper manner, you can solve your basic electrical network circuit. So we will discuss one by one all these four steps. The first step, which is very important related to mesh analysis, is that firstly you will have to identify all the meshes present in that particular network circuit. I am taking one example, and with the help of this example I am going to let you know about the process to solve that particular electrical circuit. Fine. So the first step, and the first step is, firstly you will have to identify all the meshes present in any given circuit. Here I am taking a simplest example and we will apply mesh analysis method to solve this example. I am mentioning one more thing, that see, particular circuit, any particular circuit is not orientated by a particular method to solve that circuit. You may use node analysis method to solve that circuit also. Fine. So you may have several options, you may have several methods to solve any particular electrical circuit, but the preference should be given with these two basic methods, and they are nodal and mesh. Or in mesh analysis, the first step is, firstly observe the circuit and try to identify all the meshes present in the circuit. Now the question is, what is mesh? So mesh is a smallest closest path present in a circuit. Just like here you can observe that here you have two separate closed path, just like this one. So I am taking this as a mesh 1, and this is also a closed smallest path, so this is a mesh 2. So the first step is completed, our identification, observation with this circuit in terms of number of mesh is completed. Now come with the second step, and the second step is, now you will have to mention current for each of these mesh. You have two options, you can consider current clockwise as well as anti-clockwise. Just example, here I am talking about the second step. The first step is completed, now the second step, and as I told you that in this step you will have to mention the direction of the current as well as the labeling of the current. Here, since you have two meshes, that means you should consider two currents, I1 and I2. I1 for first mesh and I2 for the second mesh. And what about the representation is, I hope representation is clear, that for the two meshes you have two currents. If you have third mesh also, then you can consider I3 as a current for the third mesh. Now the second thing is, what about the direction of the current? Here you are free, you have three options. You can consider the direction of the current clockwise in both the meshes. If you want, you can consider it anti-clockwise in both the meshes, or if you want, then you can consider current in one mesh clockwise and in another mesh anti-clockwise. So it's totally up to you. If you want to choose same direction, you can go clockwise in both the meshes or anti-clockwise in both the meshes. But if you want to make it in opposite direction, you can take one mesh as an anti-clockwise direction or in another clockwise direction. So it is totally your choice. There is no particular logic, no particular standard rule related to the direction of the current. This is the second step related to mesh analysis. And one more thing also important, you should mention the direction current also. Just like for this mesh you are taking I1 and for this you are taking I2. Now the one thing is clear with you that see, the I1 current is flowing in this mesh, that means across 5 ohm resistor I1 is flowing. Similarly, for the second mesh you can say that across 30 ohm this I2 current is flowing, but this 10 ohm resistor is like sandwich between these two meshes. So you can say that across this 10 ohm resistor I1 and I2 both currents are flowing. So if I am going to ask you the notation of current across each of the resistor, then you can say that 5 ohm across 5 ohm resistor we have I1, across 30 ohm we have I2, and across 10 ohm we have both I1 and I2. Got it? And one more thing, the important thing is, what about the type of question which is asked by the examiner in such cases? See, examiner can ask any type of question, just like examiner can ask what will be the current across this 30 ohm or across this 10 ohm or across this 5 ohm. So once you have completed with the complete solving of this question in terms of voltage and current, you will be definitely able to give the answer of any of the question related to current or voltage across each of the resistor. So the question may be in terms of voltage across any of the resistor, or what it may be happen, it may be happen across current across any of the resistor. So only two type question arises in such type of cases. The first one is current across any of the resistor, depends, and the second one is drop voltage across any of the resistor. Sometimes examiner also may ask about the power. What about the power dissipation across any of the resistor? So the solution is simple. If you are clear with the voltage and if you have already done with the complete calculation of the current, then with the multiplication of voltage and current you can provide the power. So it is again a simplest method. Now come with the third step. I hope these two steps are clear. I am again repeating. First step, just identify the nodes, identify the mesh and mention the name 1 and 2 like this. You can mention in Roman also 1, 2, depends on you. The second step is you will have to mention the current across each of the meshes. Here you have two meshes, so I have I1 and I2, and the direction is not standard rule, you can mention in any of the direction. Now come with the third rule, the third step, and the third step is now you will have to use KVL and Ohm's law, because the third step is writing mesh equations. Just like node analysis, since we were using during the writing of the nodal equations, we were using KCL, Kirchhoff Current Law, and Ohm's law for the writing of any nodal equations, and we wrote these equations in terms of KCL and Ohm's law. But now instead of using KCL, you will have to opt second option of Kirchhoff's law, and that is your KVL. So remember this concept that whenever you are going with nodal analysis, you will have to use KCL, and Ohm's law is standard. Ohm's law is compulsive in both the cases. Similarly, if you are using mesh analysis, then you will have to use KVL with Ohm's law. So now the question is how we are going to write mesh equations. See, again here you have two meshes, that means you will have to write two equations. If you have three meshes, you will have three equations. Why? Because here you have two variables, I1 and I2. So you will have to find the values of these two variables, and as per the basic concept of the mathematics, if you have two variables, then you must have two equations. So it is simple that here you will have to write two individual mesh equations with the help of KVL. So using KVL, I am writing equation, and these equations are for both the meshes. Here I am writing for mesh 1 and here I am writing for mesh 2. Fine. So KVL, Kirchhoff voltage law. I already discussed the basic concept of KVL in one of my networks theory related video. So follow that video so that you will be able to understand the proper concept of KVL and KCL and the proper manner to writing any equation, KVL or KCL equation for any of the circuit. So I am just giving the overview of how to write any equation, any KVL equation. So as per the concept of the KVL, the voltage drop across complete closed circuit is always equals to 0. The voltage drop across complete closed circuit is always equals to 0. If I am talking about first mesh, here I have three elements. You can say 3 electrical elements. The first one is battery, the second one is this 5 ohm resistor, and the third one is 10 ohm resistor. So here you will have to take 3 terms, and the sum of voltage drop across these 3 is always equals to 0. Similarly, for mesh second, again the voltage drop across this closed path is again equals to 0. So here again you have 3 elements, this resistor and this battery. So the total voltage drop across these 3 is equals to 0. Now the task is, what about the terms we are going to write over here? So see, always try to make it your habit that we are always start, whenever we are going to write the equation, we will definitely start from the battery. So in this closed path or in the journey of this closed path, if you are starting from this battery, then the battery is of 20 volt. So it is it is itself in the terms of voltage. So 20 volt. Now what about the sign across this voltage? Across here, it will be positive or it negative. It depends on the symbol mentioned over here. Since you are traveling across in this direction, that means during the journey, the second symbol of this battery is plus. So it will be plus. Similarly, now the path is going to be like this. And I told you in last video also in the concept of KVL, KCL that resistor across resistor, since current is flowing like this, so this one is always positive while this is negative. And now the second term is the voltage drop across this. And according to Ohm's law, voltage is equals to current into resistance. Current means current across this resistor, which is I1, because we mentioned current is I1. Similarly, resistance, and the resistance is 5. Now what about the direction, whether it will be positive or negative? Direction depends on the last one symbol, and the last symbol is minus, so here you will have to take minus. Similarly, come with this third resistor. See, you are coming over here, so this will be positive and this will be negative. And again the voltage drop across this resistor is equals to resistance into current. The value of the resistance is 10. While what about the current? See, here you have two currents across this 10 ohm. I1 is going downwards and I2 is going upwards. See, I2 is going upwards while I2 is going upwards and I1 is going downwards. So both are in opposite direction. So you will have to mention the conclusion of these two current, which is I1 minus I2. Why I am not taking I2 minus I1? Because we are discussing mesh 1. That means mesh 1 is dominant. So I1 minus I2. Once you will done with mesh second, then you will have to mention I2 will be dominant, and in the respect of I2 you will have to take I1. So I am again repeating, the voltage drop across this 10 ohm resistor is equals to current into resistance. Resistance is 10 ohm, so it is 10, And what about the current? Here the current is a combination of two currents, I1 and I2. If both are in same direction, you will have to write I1 plus I2, but here both are in opposite direction, so you will have to write I1 minus I2. I hope you got it. Now come with what about the symbol over here? See, this is resistor and the ending terminal of the resistor is again minus, so you will have to write minus is equals to 0. If you are going to simplify the equation looks like 20 minus 5I1 minus 10I1 plus 10I2 is equals to 0. This is your first equation. Just leave it over here. Now come with mesh second. As I told you, you will have to apply KVL in second mesh also. Now come with the journey of this mesh. Since you already mentioned that the direction of the current is clockwise and it's starting from here. So the journey of this loop, this mesh, you are starting from here. So the first element of this journey is this 10 ohm resistor. So you will have to do three simple things: voltage drop across this, voltage drop across this, and this is already mentioned. Just add them and it will be equals to 0. Now come with the first element, and the very first element of this mesh is 10 ohm, and you are coming from here and turning toward here. So the voltage drop across this 10 ohm is resistance into current. Now again the question mark is, what about the current across this 10 ohm resistor? See, I2 and I1 both are in opposite direction. I2 is going upward while I1 is coming downward. So here the current across 10 ohm resistor is I2 minus I1. I hope you are clear with this concept. Now you are thinking that what about the symbol over here? Voltage drop across resistor is positive or negative? See, the current is flowing from here, so it will be positive and it will be negative. So again minus. And remember one more thing, the voltage drop across, whether it is clockwise or anti-clockwise, the end terminal of the resistor is always going to be negative. So the voltage drop across, whenever you are planning to write an equation, the voltage drop across any resistor in the direction of the current is always negative. So no need to overthink about this. Now come with the second element. In this journey you have the second element is 30 ohm resistor. So what will be the voltage across this 30 ohm resistor? Voltage is equals to resistance into current, and the current is only I2. I2. What about the symbol? Again minus, because plus minus, so it will be minus, or resistor ke across, or the voltage drop across resistor is always negative, so it will be minus. Now come with the third element in this journey, and the third element is battery. Battery over here, and the ending terminal, whenever you are coming from here to here, from here to down, the ending terminal of the battery is plus, so it will be plus 80 is equals to 0. So this is your second equation. Again try to simplify this equation. What you are getting? You are getting minus ka 10 I2 plus ka 10 I1 minus 30 I2 plus 80 is equals to 0. I am just writing the equation over here. Now you will have to solve these equations just by applying the basic concept of the mathematics and calculate the value of I1 and I2. So I am writing the equations over here. The first equation is, just try to write in a simple manner, collect I1 and separate it from I2. Here you have 5 I1 and 10 I1, so you have minus ka 15 I1 and 10 I2 plus 10 I2 plus 20 is equals to 0. You can also write it like this, 15 I1, I am taking it at right side, minus ka 10 I2 equals to 20. This is your final equation number 1 for the mesh 1. Similarly, come with this equation, collect I1, here you have only one I1 which is 10 I1. What about I2? Minus 10 I2 or minus ka 30 I2. So you have minus 40 I2 plus 80 is equals to 0. Since you want to solve this equation with the help of mathematical concept, so you will have to separate the constant like this. So I am again rewriting the equation in a simple manner, minus ka 4 I2 40I2 is equals to 80. Fine. So these are the two basic equations. I am just separating the constant, so it will be minus 10I1 plus 40I2 is equals to 80. Now you have two equations, you will have to solve these equations. Before starting to solve the equations, one more suggestion is try to make it more simple if it is possible. Just like here, if you are dividing by 5, so it will be 3, 5 3 ja 15, 5 2 ja 10 and 5 4 ja 20. So the equation becomes little bit simple. Similarly, come with this. If you are going to divide this equation by 10, 10 divided by 10 it will become 1, 10 divided by 40 it will become 4, and when 10 is divided by 80 it will become 8. Now you have two basic simple equations. Apply any of the basic method. Suppose what I am doing, I am just using basic elimination method. So what you will have to do, just eliminate I1, and for the elimination of I1 you will have to multiply above equation by 1, because you have here you have 3, here I need one more 3, so I am going to multiply this equation by 3. So now the new equation will become, when this is multiplied by the 3, the equation will become 3I1, 12I2 is equals to 24. So now your new equation, when it is multiplied by 1, there will be no change. So now you have these two equations. Just add these two equations. When you are going to add these two equations, this is 3I1 minus 3I1 is going to be cancelled out. Here you have 12I2 and minus ka 2I2. So the solution will be 10I2 is equals to 28. So your I2 is equals to 2.8. Now just identify the I1 with the help of any of these two equations. You can use equation number 1, and your equation number 1 is 3I1 minus 2I2, and your I2 is 2.8 equals to 4. So it will be 9.6, and your I1 is equals to 3.2. So you have I1 is equals to 3.2 and your I2 is equals to 2.8. So with the help of these two mesh equations, you applied basic mathematics rules and you get the values of these two variables. Here you have two variables I1 and I2, and you already find both the variables. I1 is equals to 3.2 ampere and I2 is equals to 2.8 ampere. If the question is different, or you have a circuit having one more mesh over here, in that case you will have three variables I1, I2, I3, and you will have three individual mesh equations, and just by applying mathematics elimination method, equation elimination method, you can get value of these two variables. So you have I1 and I2. Now the thing is, these both are in the terms of ampere. Now the thing is, what was the actual question asked by the examiner in this question, or what kind of question examiner may ask in such cases. So since you have already calculated I1 and I2, now you will be able to give any answer related to this circuit. Just example, if examiner is asking what will be the current across 30 ohm resistor, so what will be the answer? See the circuit. If I am again repeating, if examiner is asking what will be the current across this 30 ohm resistor, the answer is simple, I2 current, and the value of I2 is 2.10 ampere. Similarly, if examiner is asking what about the current across this 5 ohm, you can say 3.2 ampere. If examiner wants to know what will be the current across this 10 ohm, definitely I1 and I2 in opposite direction. So you will have to subtract I2 from I1. So it will be 3.2 minus 2.8. Fine. You are able to give the answer in terms of current. Similarly, if examiner wants to know about the voltage drop, if he is asking what will be the voltage drop across this resistor, so you can say voltage is always equals to current into resistance, and the current across this 30 ohm is I2 is 2.8 and the value of the resistance is 30. So voltage is clear. Similarly, examiner wants to know voltage drop across this, so again current into resistor, the value of the current is I1, which is 3.2, and the resistance is 5. So you can give the voltage drop across this. Similarly, across 10 ohm, the resistance is 10 and the current is I1 minus I2. So you can provide the information about voltage drop across any of the circuit element as well as the current flowing from any of the circuit element with the help of mesh analysis. And I am again repeating, here the circuit is not orientated with a specific way of approach to solve such kind of circuits. You can use any of the theorem, any of the basic methods to solve such kind of electrical circuit. But since this is the starting of the syllabus and we are just dealing with the basic circuits, and to solve such kind of basic circuits you have two best basic methods and they are nodal and mesh analysis. But you will be not able to make it more confident with these two methods if you are not clear with the concept of KVL and KCL. So I am suggesting you to follow all those 2 to 3 previous videos related to these basic topic from networks theory, and hope you all are following the concept of this mesh analysis, and if you are following, consider to subscribe my channel and click on bell icon. Thank you so much.